Hey there, how's everybody doing? Everybody doing okay? Good. Good, everybody's doing good. That's good. It's my brother-in-law here. Years ago, I did a Photoshop of him with chicken legs. I sent it to Sora and told it to animate it. Pretty remarkable what that thing can do. Won't be long before you can tell it to make you a movie, but make it with this version instead of that. Make Star Wars, but make Darth Vader the good guy and Luke the bad guy. You could probably pretty much do anything, but of course they got those safeguards that probably never let you really do something like that. Not unless you do it at 10 seconds at a time. But anyway, let's get on with this here. This video is going to be, I forgot to play my little intro, that it cut my damn name off. It does spell your name wrong a lot. Like when you tell anything, when you tell it to spell stuff, it gets that wrong a lot. But I'm sure about this time next year, it's going to be doing some incredible things. More so than it is now. Oh, the question was asked was about they want to raise their map height or lower their map height. Map's 1,000 meters. They want to bring it down to 250. There gonna be problems doing that. You have to replace a lot of things. I don't know what's going on with the rain or the sky. Everything kind of got screwed up yesterday messing with it. I can turn that rain off though. Not sure why it did that. It made those big pixelated blocks. No idea. So let's get up here. Look down at the map. Let's find an area that's got some buildings. I guess this will work. So go into your world editor, type in Z for the terrain. If your terrain block's named Z terrain, it usually is. You can name it something else if you needed to though, but the max height is 120. So just say this was 1,000, and you reduce this thing to 20. Well, everything's going to be floating. The decals pretty much stay where they're supposed to stay for the most part, because they're just following the ground. Wherever the ground goes, they're going. There may be some misalignments. I don't know for sure. I haven't done this really much. But you see everything's in the sky. And that's a pain in the ass, because now you got to fix it all. Now, they got this thing in here that says snap to align to mesh. Where is it at? That's not it. It's in the forest items. Forest tools. Snap to terrain. So here's the thing. To do that, you have to pick the ones that you want out of the forest editor to do that with. If you want everything to be included, well, you need to pick everything, or you'll have to do them one at a time. But it's easier just pick them all and do it all at once, so that they're all lit. I'm holding Control key, and then now I'll get the paintbrush and I start to paint where I see forest items. And it can get irritating at times. It may not want to put them exactly where they're supposed to go. And not everything's a forest item. Luckily, most of it is, but a great deal of it's not. your prefabs, your regular DAE objects that are not forced items, they'll have to be manually moved. I mean, it may not take you that long to do it. It can be aggravating clicking on this stuff sometimes, but it doesn't want to click on it. See what I mean? It does not want to select that stuff for some reason. See, I don't know why it does that. That may be a bug. It may be a bug. I'm not doing anything wrong. I mean, you could just start over and replant all this stuff again. They got that biome tool now. But like all this stuff, like the railings and all that, I mean, all this stuff, pretty much everything on the map, pretty much, will need to be lowered, like however many meters that was. What was the difference? 20 meters? I'm not sure what it was to begin with now, and what I just lowered it to. Shit, I didn't even think about looking. 20. I think it was 120, wasn't it? And I lowered it 20. So everything needs to lower 100 meters. Pretty much everything that's not a tree or a forest item. So you select it with the object selector. And you should be able to pick every damn thing and tell every damn thing to drop 100 meters, but I don't think it was 120 meters. That can't be right. Because you got some stuff that's not actually on the terrain, they're on the model. It's outside of here. But you should be able to tell it all. Well, see, now it doesn't tell you where it's at, though. So how do you do minus 20 from an unknown number? See what I mean? So just gradually raising everything like 10 meters at a time, get it kind of close, and then change it to 5 meters, 1 meter, you know. And you see not everything got selected. Yeah, that's not going to work globally. It's just going to give you a hell of a hard ass time to get everything back to the ground. Now you can also snap to terrain with these objects too. That's another option. So in the move tool, where is it at? Snap to terrain. So if you pick up something and you move it, just move it a bit. Just move it just a slight bit. It'll snap it to the terrain, wherever that terrain is. So these are perfectly where they're supposed to be now, except for that. So it should technically work with all the stuff. Because it's snapping to terrain. Now the question is, those rocks, they were not snapped to the terrain, they were embedded into the rock. Into the ground more. So you may have to go through and do them individually, the ones that are stubborn, the ones that don't want to do what they're supposed to do. And see, like, that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna work like that. So you have to untoggle that and then put these where they should be. I don't know where there should be. Hell, I don't remember. Oh, that's because it's snapping to the water. I see now. But still ain't doing right. They're still not doing right. So yeah, you have you a job. You have you a job to do. It's gonna be quite a undertaking, depending on how much stuff you've already got done to your map. This would be something you'd want to decide beforehand. So yeah, you're gonna definitely have a lot to do, man. It's not gonna be fun, that's for sure. I sure as hell wouldn't want to do it. Another option would be to raise the terrain. You could always raise the terrain up, then you're gonna have the ocean and stuff to deal with too. But you could do it. You could just pick the terrain and move it up to match that stuff after you've changed the size of it. If you know the distance that was the difference, then that might not be so much of an issue. But keep in mind something. When you lower the maximum height, I can illustrate. Let me illustrate this here. I'll show you what I'm trying to explain that I don't know how to really explain it. Alright, so say you got a terrain and so you got a hill, and that hill is 1,000 meters tall. $1,000 meters tall, but you tell it the max height can only be 250. Well, what it's going to do when it changes the scale of that, it's going to crunch it down like that, and that'll be your new max height. So if you originally had, say, let's do it like this. You have a house on the top of the hill, just a little brick house or something, you know. Right? And then middle ways down, you got another house. Right, house one, house two. Now when you rescale this, where'd my houses just go? When you rescale the terrain, if you were to tell both of these items to now form to the terrain, here's what's going to happen. And what we're seeing with those rocks right now. So one of them goes to where it's supposed to go, but not the other. Because there's a difference now, a percentage difference now. The max height is not the same anymore. Because it got, what's it called, truncated, compressed. It got compressed. But these did not get compressed. They did not also follow the terrain and its transition. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's going on with all this. And this is a headache. It really is a headache to try to deal with it. The same thing can be said if you got to try to make the terrain even taller. Then you're going to have the opposite, where things are not far enough apart, you know, that are on a thing. So yeah, you're going to have an issue with that. What I'd say do, if your terrain's 1,000 meters and you want it to be 250 meters, if it's just a little area, you might be better off using your terrain tool and just pushing the ground down where you want it to be 200 meters. And then just handling stuff like, you know, per area, where you're not dealing with the entire map. But I get it. You probably made something. You probably made something with like a Blender or GIS or something, or Mushroom or something like that, reality capture, and you got a model that's not the scale. And yeah, I understand that's a pain. It's a hassle. So that's about all that you can do. That I know of. There may be other things you can do, but as far as I know, that's pretty much it.